Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson wants you to know that he is doing a great job. In fact, he's decided to bypass traditional media altogether and head straight to the live stream crowd, appearing with a self-described Marxist influencer who's got millions of followers online. The mayor also wants you to know something else. It is not his fault that his ultra-progressive agenda is struggling. According to Johnson, the problem is the Democrat establishment, wealthy donors, capitalism, everybody but him. The list goes on and on. But don't worry, help is on the way. Johnson says he's building a coalition with some of the most liberal mayors in America.
Right now, we are in the process of we're forming sort of a mayor's coalition, much like district and state's attorneys have formed to fight back against federal overreach. He expressed a desire and commitment to work with the city of Chicago, Boston. We have Seattle on board. We have Oakland, Mayor Lee, Mayor Bass, and Los Angeles as well.
So federal overreach, he says, is the real problem. He's going to collaborate with all these extremely uber liberal mayors, Charles, to try to fix everything that the federal government has done wrong to his constituents.
Sometimes you think that old saying, out of the fire into the frying pan, whatever. I don't know if they need to bring the last one back. I mean, they both are awful. Just the excuses. You live in the most amazing country in the world. We're just, our story, the American story, and it keeps going on and on and on. It's so beautiful. And essentially what you're saying is, sit it out. Don't participate in it. It's unfair. It doesn't want you to participate. We'll find a different way. And there's no socialist story even close to this. And so you can gather a whole bunch of other broken cities and towns and think you can cobble it together and do something in a coalition, but the only people who do well in these socialist societies are the elites, their own elites. And they're the substitute for quote unquote capitalists, right? And except there's a smaller pool of people, but they have more wealth and more power than even the richest people in a capitalist society do. It's less fair than capitalism is or has been. I don't care how it sounds when your professor explains it to you, or a guy like this, because you can make anything sound wonderful on the chalkboard. In real life, it has been an unmitigated disaster.
And what I find interesting is that this leftist political commentator, Hassan Piker, who we just mentioned, and this podcast group, Jam Podcasts for guys, they all appeal to this younger audience. This is a piece of the playbook ripped out of Donald Trump's playbook that was so successful, appealing to the youth. But for these guys, it's a little different because it's this youth, for example, here in New York City that elected Zohran Mamdani, that buys into their message. So they are sort of going for the jugular of where their audience is. Yeah,
that's interesting. And I think Charles gets it right with the stuff that sounds good on a chalkboard. This guy calls himself an anti-imperialist Marxist. What does that mean? Is he coming like straight from the 1800s? So, but it sounds great because if you're young and you kind of fashion yourself sort of a pseudo-intellectual and you hear that, you're like, yeah, I'm against that too. I don't like the imperialists. Well, who are they? They don't live in America. But then Brandon Johnson says he wants to fight the overreach of the federal government. This is the same guy who's fighting with Trump because the federal government won't give him like $3 billion. Dude, have it one way or the other, okay? Either you want the federal government's money, then you got to deal with the federal government, or better yet, I say stop, and I say this for every state and every city, stop sending him federal money. You do it on your own, Brandon Johnson. You see how it works out. You see how it works out for your constituents. He gets bailed out by the federal government. He wants all of our money, and he wants none of the strings attached. That's not how it works.
Some of the other topics they talked about: affordable housing, political organization, the legacy of Jesse Jackson. His funeral was just a few days before. Johnson's efforts to keep the Bears in Chicago. They've got a lot of problems, Dagan. They understand where the hot spots are, but I don't hear solutions on how to fix some of these things.
When you have a mayor like Brandon Johnson who just watches children get murdered by errant gunfire, and what changes? Chicago has had this ongoing problem, and I'll never forget it was a group of young people who were looting, like they were, I think the youngest was like 12, into their teens, were looting a convenience store. And the mayor was questioned by some reporters. And I think one reporter used the term like gang. Like it was a gang of young people.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the mayor, reprimanded the reporter and said that I object to the language. It has connotations of the mob. Oh, it was mob. It was a mob of young people. And he was trying to equate it with organized crime. I'm like, well, to equate these kids to organized crime is actually an insult to Cosa Nostra. Because they were just all over the place. But that's what his concern was, is controlling language,
Right.
but not penalizing those who are stealing from local businesses. I don't know how you fix this. Looking at like the pre-pandemic, like or non-pandemic years, just grant funding from the federal government made up a quarter of the city's total budgeted appropriations. That city could not function without federal money.
You know the good news, Jackie? The city is quite literally paying for their fiscal mismanagement, some of which stem from the current mayor that we are discussing. Chicago was supposed to issue a debt this week to fund, I don't know, lots of new initiatives, or to fund settlements that they've had to do, to fund previous things that they couldn't, afford from the annual budget. They had to pull that bond sale.
No one wanted it?
No one wants it. Not right now. Now they're arguing the market, oh, well, yields are all rising because there's conflict in Iran. Amazon sold a couple billion. Salesforce sold a couple billion. So they're BBB plus by Fitch. They were junk status by Moody's, ended up coming out of junk status, but pretty low. BBB is just one notch above junk. Junk is a BB rated credit. Yields on Chicago's debt are up 25 basis points this month alone, now north of 4% on a 10-year. The average, everyone else at AAA, 2.6%.
Wow.
So you're paying 150 basis points on average extra, the city of Chicago is, relative to the AAA Muni benchmark, because in part of fiscal, structural, budgetary mismanagement. They'll try to sell that debt later when the markets calm down, and we'll see. But to me, it's not like yields are rising. If Amazon's able to do it and Salesforce is able to do it, the yields just frankly weren't attractive enough, and they're going to try to hold off till another day. They are literally having to pay for it in interest and debt costs.
That's